remember when Avatar 2 was about to come out and you got all the comments. Avatar has no pop cultural footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about Avatar anymore. Hell, even I thought it was going to suffer a bit from the fact that it took so long to get the sequel.
Yeah.
Like even me. And this one's going to flop. This one's going to flop. Well, what happened? Movie came out, made over $2 billion, one of the highest grossing films of all time.
Yeah.
Fast forward now to 2025 with Avatar 3 coming out and history repeated itself. It's like living in Battlestar Galactica. This has all happened before. It will all happen again. This one's going to flop. Nobody cares about. How many times did we see comments in our live chat, Jonathan?
Oh, yeah.
People saying, nobody cares about Avatar. Nobody cares. It's going to flop. No one's going to go see it. Well, it's according to this report in Variety now. After just 18 days in theaters, Avatar Fire and Ass has now joined the $1 billion club.
It sounds like you said fire and ass.
Fire and Ass. That's the adult spoof version. Avatar Fire and Ass.
Yeah,
No.
or the extra spicy wings at
The
Buffalo
extra
Wild
spicy.
Wings.
That's right. If I owned a wing place right now, that's what I call my
There you
hottest
go.
sauce. Fire and Ass. So Avatar Fire and Ash crosses the $1 billion mark after just 18 days in theaters. To put a finer point on how big of a deal that is, 2025 has only had 3 new members join the $1 billion club. Out of all the hundreds of films that came out, only 3 new members of the $1 billion club. Zootopia 2 right now is sitting at about 1.6 billion and counting. Lilo and Stitch got just over the finish line at 1.03 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And now Avatar Fire and Ash in 18 days has hit $1.08 billion in 18 days. Now, do I think this movie's going to hit 2 billion? I don't. I've been saying that all year, Jonathan. People have been asking, like, you know, how much over 2 billion will Avatar 3 go? And I'd say, well, it's not. I think, you know, the number of factors taken into consideration. I see the ceiling, the target number for Avatar Fire and Ash maybe being 1.4, 1.5. And then those people saying, no, it's going to flop. It's going to make like $500 million. I'd say, no, it's going to go over $1 billion.
Yeah.
It's going to come in between $1 and $2 billion, somewhere right around the middle there. Now, whether it actually gets to 1.4 or 1.5, I'm not sure. It has been 18 days already, but it is showing extraordinary legs. But now this is the 3rd Avatar film for James Cameron. All 3 have now joined the $1 billion club. 2 of them are in the $2 billion club. And, you know, when I saw these numbers, it just made me like wonder, what is it about the Avatar films that have consistently drawn audiences to keep coming, to the point that all 3 of them are in the $1 billion club, 2 of them in the $2 billion club. I don't think it's tremendous over creativity with originality in their story. I mean, as James Cameron himself has said, Avatar, the first one, is basically Dances with Wolves in space. James Cameron himself has kind of said, yeah, it's basically kind of Dances with Wolves in space.
Uh-huh.
So that's true. We've had great visual effects, but there's just something about these Avatar films that have captured to me a sense of adventure that a lot of modern cinema just doesn't capture well. And don't confuse action for adventure.
No.
Transformers movies can be loaded with action, and they are,
Yeah,
but a lot
numbingly.
a lot of it is just visual noise.
Yeah.
James Cameron found a way to make Avatar truly one of the great adventures. And he managed to create characters along the way, like the basic fundamentals of filmmaking. He gave us characters that we got attached to, that we started to root for and to cheer for.
Mm-hmm.
He gave us villains that are interesting, especially with Quaritch, who I honestly think, after seeing the 3rd Avatar film, which is not my favorite. Actually, my 3rd Avatar is my least favorite of the 3. I still liked it, but it's my least favorite of the 3.
Yeah.
But Quaritch has become like the low-key MVP of the series for me. He actually has the most interesting character arc and character journey
Well,
out of almost any of them in the
the arc
movie.
the arc is just that, because at any moment you're like, is this the moment he's going to turn? Is he about to turn? And time after time we're like, okay.
No,
But
he
we
like,
still
he goes,
think like, man.
and then he pulls it back a bit, and
yeah.
he goes. So, like, the best villains are the ones that we can feel some empathy for. The best villains are the ones that we go sometimes, well, they got a point, which is why, like, so many people, like, that was the big saying, the big meme, Thanos was right, like, was the big thing for a long time, right? It's these types of villains like that are key. They give us a wondrous sense of mythology. They give us truly alien worlds. You mix all that in with absolutely jaw-dropping, stunning visual effects again and again and again and again. And, like, look, again, like that one scene in Avatar Fire and Ash when, like, the floating store, like what do you call them? The traders and everything.
Right.
And they're floating hot air balloons. That whole action sequence was stunning.
But even that, what they're floating is organic, and you get concerned about the animals that are like being attacked, and so
these CG, not real animals, by the way.
You're like, oh man. So at every turn, your heart is kind of being pulled there in different directions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another thing about it is, well, really look, Avatar and the writing and the production of it, and I don't even mean technologically, the way he weaves his stories should be studied if people really want to take cinema like seriously, because everything you just mentioned is true, but the fact that it translates across many nations around the world and also age groups. Because I told you I went there at 9 a.m. on this weekend so that I could see the X-Men Avengers trailer, which was awesome. But I looked around at the audience, and it was IMAX. It was like maybe a third full, but it was only at 9 a.m. and it's like whatever. But the different span of generations in there was still telling. And I mean, there were people going in there. It reminded me of Top Gun Maverick. It was people that don't usually go to movies. You can tell when people come into a theater, it's probably the only movie they've seen in like a year or two or more.
I heard from a lot of people. Like, I was even playing poker this past week with a bunch of guys I didn't know, and like the Avatar kind of came up and said, we went to go see Avatar. I haven't been in the movie theater in about a year and a half, but we went to go see Avatar.
You can tell those audiences, and they were there.
And one of the other key things too is that it's not just about Group A versus Group B.
Mm-hmm.
James Cameron does a good job setting up. It's about philosophy and values versus another set of philosophies and values, and how those different ideas of philosophy and values come into conflict. And he just plays it up well. And it's just the result, again, as we look at this graphic again, remember, we had a year where we had like 9 films join the $1 billion club once. That's not the world we live in anymore. We only had 3. Minecraft got close, by the way. Minecraft almost became the 4th one, but we only had 3 this year, and Avatar becomes that. How big it goes, I'm not really sure. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the very first time, trying something new can be tough. But on PrizePicks, it just feels great when your sports takes are right. With big playoff matchups happening every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never really stops, and PrizePicks lets you take control. Ann and I both tried out PrizePicks a while ago, and we were honestly surprised by how simple it was to get started. I put my first lineup together in just minutes, and it genuinely made watching the games with my friends more fun because we were following our player projections all night, cheering for more or less. And there's a couple of features I really love. PrizePicks now has early payouts, so if your player gets off to a hot start, you can have the option to cash out before the game even finishes. And the new social feeds feature lets you share your PrizePicks with friends or even copy winning lineups with one click. Plus, if you like flexibility, you can choose Flex Play, or if you want the biggest potential prizes, go with Power Play. So download the PrizePicks app today and use the code Campea to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Campea to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? In 18 days in theaters, Avatar Fire and Ash has become the 3rd Avatar film to join the $1 billion club. Only the 3rd film of 2025 to do so. How much higher do you think it can go? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.